It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COMMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four and invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's that Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Dr. Auger is an OG, got that potion, the elixir, got devotion to all those who keep on showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James McQuiggan. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official. We gon' get through all these issues. Time for jaw jacking, baby. This is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave it feeling charged. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's a live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's a live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. Today is Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. This is episode 806 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, coming hot off the heels of that bop, ranking number one on Billboard charts, Simply Cyber intro song, authored by one talented Joe Hudson, doing his lunges right now at physical therapy. Good morning, everybody. Over the next hour, if you don't know what's about to go down, allow me to share with you. We are going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day alongside my friends like the Haircut Fish, Mr. Green, Jeff Watala, Marcus Kyler of the Yeet Crew, and the Detroit Lions Boo-Hoo Pity Crew. I'm sorry, maybe too soon. My friend Mariana Albright bringing the heat, and Brexy Code Brew in the upstate, Roswell, UK, across the pond, Space Talkers with the GRC Mafia. Guys, Larry Shervington's in the house. Let's get the party started. We are going to shred the news, and I'm going to do everything in my power to rip out, to distill the essence, to cast a brew, if you will, a potion, an elixir of cyber risk reduction value, actionable steps, actionable intel, things you can share with your business, configurations you can implement, threat telemetry to look for. Whatever it is, we're going to be leveling up all of you with the goal exclusively to enable you to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders. And guess what? Spoiler alert. We have fun doing it because ain't nobody got time for boring webinars.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So listen, we're going to be shredding that. And if you're looking to break into the industry and you're like, wait a minute, I'm trying to break in here. How can I drive cyber risk reduction for my business stakeholders? I ain't got a business yet. Well, my friend, you're in the right place because you're going to be asked at any single job interview. Ask Joe Hudson. You're going to be asked at any single job interview, how do you stay current in the industry? Ding! Winner, chicken dinner. You know the X you get on Family Feud? It's like the opposite of that. It's just a big green check mark. Person interviewing you might even know about the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. That's how hot it is. Wait, hold on.
You gotta patch it.
Hold on, I hit the wrong button.
You gotta patch it.
Okay. Spicy, how hot it is. But seriously, guys, we're going to have a good one. Shout out to all the team solo operators. Flying solo, Simply Cyber is your virtual coworker workforce. Guys, I want you to know we got a banger of some stories today. It's going to be a little bit of a short runway as a couple stories we're not going to cover, frankly, because they're not related to what we're doing here this morning. So it'll be a little bit shorter. It is Tuesday, which I want to remind everybody, every day of the week has a special segment. And Tuesday is Tidbits Tuesday with me, your host. And I'll share some personally revealing, sometimes embarrassing things about myself and see if we can vibe on it. Shout out to everybody who's in Denver right now at Wild West Mile High Fest, cruising up in the Black Hills Antisyphon Wild West space. Safe travels, everybody heading out to Mile High, and I hope you guys have a wonderful experience out there. I'm there in spirit, just not in physical form. So that's what we got going on. I don't research or prep any of the show. I only know the stories that are coming up because I actually set up tabs for them, which is how I know there's duplicative stories. But guys, I'm giving you this raw, rough, rugged, and raw ODB style podcast where we don't prep or research for any of it. Now, if you'll just enable me actually, I'll do this while the ad rolls. Listen, we're going to watch 2 ads. I'm going to smash them together. This is a new thing we're trying. We talked about it yesterday. Would love some feedback from chat on if you really do like them smashed together. I'm going to slug some coffee and get my screensaver back up and running. So let's do a quick word from the stream sponsors. We'll see who they are. We're taking bets right now. All right, 2 stream sponsors. And when I come back, I'm going to tell you, Tom Bishop and Carrie and Priceless Pancake and Victor Agbana over on LinkedIn exactly how your CPEs are going to be sorted out. Micah Yeagley already knows the solution. Let's go. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit ThreatLocker. Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. All right. Hopefully that worked out well for everybody. 1% better. Good morning. Michael Huskin's back with the pups and the coffee. I'm totally on board with that, guys. Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth 1/2 of a CPE, continuing professional education credit. So let me tell you really quickly, this show, it's an hour long, but we conservatively say it's worth 1/2 of a CPE or 30 minutes of cyber knowledge. I'm an instructor. This is a webinar. I'm leading it, AKA this is an instructor-led webinar. It just doesn't suck, right? So do me a favor, say what's up in chat, hashtag TeamSC. You can see I'll be pointing at it in your screenshot. Just grab a screenshot, file it away once a year, count up the number of CPEs, divide by 2 or multiply by 0.5. You choose the math adventure that you want, and we're going to be getting it done real quick. All right, guys, do me a favor. Get your coffee, get your drink of choice, get your physical therapy, do whatever it is you got to get, and get right, because we're about to rip apart these news stories like a bunch of bosses.
Fashy!
Yes, sir. All right, do me a favor, everybody. Sit back, relax. Not too comfortable if you're driving, Jesse. And let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. I will see all of you at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. I'm Lauren Verno. Exploited vulnerabilities up significantly from previous year. The number of exploited vulnerabilities surged in 2024, with 768 CVEs actively targeted. That's a 20% increase from the year before. Now, nearly a quarter of these were weaponized on or before their public disclosure. Chinese threat actors remain a major player, with 15 groups linked to exploiting top vulnerabilities, including Log4j. The security shortcomings are linked to the exploitation of Citrix, Cisco, Zoho, and Microsoft, to name a few.
Hold on a second. In 20. All right. Hey, listen. Lot of meat on this bone. Okay, it looks like we're ripping off right off the start of the show with a banger. Also, first of all, I forgot to mention this. If today is your first episode, please drop a hashtag first timer in chat. We have a special emote, a special sound effect, and spoiler alert, the Simply Cyber community loves welcoming first timers. It's not a trick. We're not trying to we're not going to pants you and be like, ah, it's literally something wicked fun we do. Hashtag first timer if you're a chat. Now, if you're a long timer, you know dang well what's about to happen here. Oh my God. Can we get this? Oh, so good. So if you don't know, I have a penchant for infographics. And while this is just a bar chart, hats off to whoever the color designer is. Kimberly Can Fix It was probably involved with this bar chart because that red and blue, it just slaps. And that's for the Gen Z people. Hold on one second. What's the number? I just love this color scheme. Now, check this out really quickly. There's two things I want to point out. One, the CISA Known Exploited Vulnerability Catalog is an excellent resource. It is provided by CISA, or it is currently provided by CISA. There is a reality where it becomes dormant. Department of Homeland Security is currently doing a lot of changes over at CISA and refocusing the mission at CISA. So this actually service may go away, but as it stands right now, you could see here, CISA KEV. This gives you insights into actual vulnerabilities, like this one right here, CVE 2025-24085. It's an Apple multiple products use after free bug in Apple iOS and Mac OS. So Linux, basically. This is actually being exploited. They're seeing exploitation in the wild, okay? So, it's not a theory what is the likelihood of this getting popped? It's likely because it's being actively exploited, okay? So this is the value. Now, it's not like everything else. It's not a magic bullet. It's not a crystal ball, right? This isn't the Eye of Sauron that gets to see everything. It only sees, as you can see here, the light blue ones. The red ones are also exploited vulnerabilities in 2024. So right off the rip, if you're using KEVs as your all-knowing, all-telling, oh, hey, we have all these vulnerabilities in our scanner, but only one of them showing up in the KEV, so we're good to go, right? We'll just patch that one and move on. That's a mistake. You can see, literally, it is magnitudes larger exploited vulnerabilities that are not being captured in the CISA KEV. All right, so that's first of all. Second of all, I do have a little bit. Hey, what's up, Wilbert Philippe, long timer? Listen, I've got some real insights, okay? This is, I'm always learning too, okay? I might be old and gray and grizzled and whatever, but I'm always learning also. And one thing that really point out, and I guess have a ray of sunshine for you guys, is that there were 768 CVEs exploited in 2024. Now, you might be like, oh my God, Jerry, hand me a handkerchief so I can dab my brow. Oh, the vapors, 768, up 20% from 639. What will we ever do, Mr. Devereaux? Listen, it's not that bad, okay? Getting exploited is gross and you don't like it, but let me share a little reality with you, okay? Oh my God. Yeah, accept all cookies. Come on, man. What is this? Freaking, you know what I don't like? I don't like a pop-up hovering over my bar charts, okay? I've got a thing for infographics, and my thing is not to have them masked by some type of pop-up asking me to do things like log in. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, let's back up over here. Here's the deal. I'm getting this, this is a fact, okay? So you can fact check me, but the mods did it for me. There were 34,878 vulnerabilities captured in 2024, okay? There were 34,878 times someone submitted a bug report and it was confirmed a bug and given a CVE or a, what is CVE? It's like vulnerability enumeration or, hold on. It's so funny. It's like one of those acronyms that I don't even, common vulnerabilities and exposure. See, I forgot. It's just one of those things that like you use the acronym so often that you don't even think about it. So allow me to do this really quickly. 768 divided by 34,878. 0.2%. Okay, you guys see the math here? 0.2%. So of all the vulnerabilities, oh my God, the sky is falling. Everything's gone to hell. Only 2% of them were even exploited at all. That we know of, right? But it's probably very likely. It's not like, oh my God, it's actually closer to 40%. No, it's less. It's 2%. Okay. Now, again, you get punched in the mouth with like Progress, Move It software, and your total thing gets data exiled, your Avanti VPN security gateway. Like, there's a lot of gross, disgusting, nasty vulnerabilities out there, right? What was it? Log4Shell, or not Log4Shell, or Log4Shell. Oh my God, proxy login. What was the exchange one that was super gross 2 years ago? Oh my God, BSEC. What was the gross exchange one a couple years ago? Do you remember that one? But anyways, the TLDR here is you do not want vulnerabilities. You do want to patch it. You gotta patch it. Okay, you want to patch it, but also be real that 2% of all vulnerabilities are exploited. So when you're looking in your vulnerability scanner and you see 200,000 vulnerabilities and you feel apathetic, you're like casually Joseph and you just want to drive off the road and be like, Jesus, take the wheel. Know that you're actually doing great. Like if you are getting some of the big gross ones down, you're doing good. Okay. That's what's up with this. The final thing I'll point out, and again, everybody knows this because I've been talking it up a lot lately. Compliments of one Brandon Poole. And DJ B6 actually written a Python script to help with this. When we talk about how bad are vulnerabilities, right? How bad is a vulnerability? Right now, a 0-day drops on WordPress plugin, okay? A 0-day drops on Mac OS, whatever, okay? How bad is that? Well, when we say how bad is it, there's a CVE score, or it's a CVSS score, excuse me, that gets calculated. That score goes from 0 to 10, and we typically look at like the 9/8 and be like, oh, this is really bad. You gotta get it sorted out, okay? Like it's bad. Well, there's another scoring framework called EPSS, Echo Papa Sierra Sierra. And not, sorry to trigger you, Alpha Sierra. I'll write them and see if we can call it EPAS and we can call it Echo Papa Alpha Sierra. All right, really quickly. But EPSS, and why I tell you about EPSS is because I'm converted. EPSS actually takes into consideration like how likely something is to get exploited in the next 30 days based on sentiment. It's a black box closed system on how they calculate this, but it's got a lot more applicability into the reality of what we're doing here. You see, they say like, how old's the vulnerability? How much exploitation are they seeing? What are they seeing as far as dark web activity, threat modeling, threat actor performance? Right? You could see all these things right here, false positives, et cetera, et cetera. I love myself some EPSS, okay? So definitely mark that. And when you're doing your vulnerability management, just be mindful that there are different things. Okay. This entire segment is literally a more you know for vulnerability managers. And I know I've got a vulnerability management analyst class coming out at some point, and I know a lot of people are upset I haven't gotten that out. But just know that's what this is. And vulnerability management people are people too. Like literally, if you see a vulnerability management analyst, you might want to put your hand on their shoulder and say, like, are you doing all right? You doing okay? I want you to know it, it matters. What you're doing matters, okay? And if you guys don't know why vulnerability management analysts become apathetic, ask at jaw jacking or someone in chat will drop it. But it's a tough road to hoe. And GRC Mafia people, look out for your vulnerability management analysts, okay? All right, let's keep going.
First U.S. state to declare ban on DeepSeek. Texas is the first state to take a public stand against Chinese.
Of course, Texas. Oh, hey, watch out. Everybody move. Everybody move. Texas is here.
AI company DeepSeek and the social media app Rednote, banning the apps from state-issued devices. Governor Greg Abbott cited security concerns and the threat of data harvesting for the ban. Meanwhile, across the pond, Italy's Data Protection Authority has also blocked DeepSeek's chatbot service and demanded details on its data collection practices amid mounting privacy concerns, even as the company denies operating in Italy.
All right, couple quick things, quick hits, because Marcus Kyler did it. I think it's hilarious, so I want to... Marcus Kyler, like, leave vulnerability management analysts alone. Okay, thank you, Marcus Kyler, for that joke. Yeah, seriously, guys. Texas, if you live outside the United States, like Roswell, UK, or SSD, or Fred on, whatever. And Fred on, I know you're from Ghana. I don't know if you have moved to the United States, so I'm not, Listen, Texas is like, everything's bigger in Texas. The cars are bigger. The personalities are bigger. The football stadium and TV is bigger. They love being big. Even the state's huge. It takes like a day to drive across, okay? So if you are from Texas, I know DJ Bisek behind the glass is H-Town's own Ghetto Boys rolling deep. Like, we got Kerry up in there. I think there's a Dallas contingent, right? I know some of the Texas people are in Denver right now. Texas loves being it. So DeepSeek is this Chinese AI thing, which, by the way, a lot came out on DeepSeek over the last couple of days. There was a misconfiguration. If you guys didn't see it, like, to me, that would be probably more of a relevant story for this show. But it came out that there was a misconfiguration and people were able to query the back end of DeepSeek and see how it was set up, see how it formed prompts and stuff like that. So a lot of kind of intellectual property and behind the curtain intel was pulled from DeepSeek, which I know, if you're a adversary of China, like, maybe the United States, that's really great intel to understand how it shaped, how it worked, and also to see if it looks like any other popular AI solutions like OpenAI and stuff on the back end. Now, Texas and other states, I think Montana, were banning TikTok. And now there's like a federal ban on TikTok, but then it was reversed. Basically, there's a lot of, for lack of a better term, like anti-China sentiment. And some of it is because technology is coming over that is, I guess, compromised. We just saw in the news yesterday that medical devices, the CMS 8000, which is like a patient vitals monitoring solution, comes prepackaged with a backdoor persistence mechanism. That's not good. Manufactured in China. Again, this is one of those ones where you've got to be careful because I'm sure that company is a private sector company. So there is a layer of obfuscation between, is this state-sponsored persistence backdoor, or is this a nefarious private sector company, or is it a misunderstanding and it's just allowing them to remote in to provide service to that medical device? The DeepSeek stuff on government devices, not private citizens, but honestly, because of the terms and conditions of DeepSeek, which basically says they own everything. Okay. I can appreciate Texas saying no government devices can use this because they don't want Texas state government or, federal government data being essentially handed over to a foreign country. I get it. I actually support this policy only because, it's data leaving the country. All right. So it doesn't matter that DeepSeek is Chinese versus, Nigerian or Australian or whatever. I'm sure that they leaned into it more heavy because it is China backed, not because it's like, Germany back or something like that. I do want to point out two things because someone mentioned this to me in comments, in YouTube comments, which, by the way, if you didn't know, I do read the comments. They said they thought I was actually fear mongering, which I really don't appreciate. And they said, doesn't every AI solution take your data, right? You're saying DeepSeek, China owns your data and they do whatever you want with your data, but it seems like you're cherry picking that to emphasize China. What about OpenAI? What about, Google Gemini and others? I looked quickly just at OpenAI, so I didn't look at the other ones, but OpenAI has a policy that you own the data and you can opt out of them taking the data and training their models and stuff on like that. Now, whether or not that's true remains to be seen, right? You would think that the policies that the company is saying they are in fact following, and it's not just theater for you to like willfully give your data up to them. But they explicitly say they don't do that, whereas DeepSeek explicitly says they do that. Okay, so it is what it is. All right. I can get on that. All right. This isn't a political show or a religious show, so we try to stay clear and be objective in these things. I do have a thought, which would be more appropriate for in person about some of the rhetoric going on right now, but that's not cybersecurity related. So let's go.
Crypto scams make a comeback on X. An oldie but a goodie, at least according to the hackers behind a one-click phishing campaign that has recently been targeting high-profile X accounts. Journalists, political figures, and even an ex-employee are the targets of this attack that ultimately leads to cryptocurrency fraud. Now, the goal of targeting these high-profile accounts is to gain access to their large following, maximizing the amount of people who could potentially fall victim to the scam. These kinds of scams have turned out to be very lucrative for hackers in the past, which is why it's worth noting to double check any URL or links before potentially falling for one of these scams.
Yeah, to me, this almost seems like a public service announcement than news, right? But by the way, I mean, this is good, okay? You got to remember, we've got to be vigilant, okay? So even if it's like an old story, it is important to remind people. You don't get to just move on. That's another like myth about cybersecurity. You don't just get to move on to the cool thing, okay? The cool shiny bauble, like blocking and tackling, manning the wall, if you will. That's like what the job is, okay? And it's not always cool and it's not always fun, but like, guess what? That's the job. So we're going to spend a minute on this one. Crypto fraud. First of all, Jay Gold and your Bitcoin, enjoy that. Jay Gold's driving around in a car with gold wing doors right now because he's making that cryptocurrency. Shout out to Charles Finfrock. I don't have the sound effect on, but he's a crypto evangelist. I am not, but he loves it. He loves it. He loves it. That's a shout out to long timers here on the channel who haven't heard that sound bit in a minute. Listen, when you get an email, so there's a couple things here. First of all, just basic phishing, right? Educate your end users on phishing. Be mindful. Don't fall for stupid stuff. Don't click on things. If it's too good to be true, spoiler alert, it is. If it's too scary, then it is. And it could be real, but go through an out-of-band channel. That's basically the TLDR. If it's scary, validate through an out-of-band channel. If it's too good to be true, like, don't be a child. Like, realize it's too good to be true. Yes, Jay Gold has activated his diamond hand, so watch out, everybody. So this is really a two-parter. First part is just falling for fishes and getting compromised and all that. Now remember, with the cyber kill chain, there is always actions on objectives. Okay, let me do that. Since I know Peter Lee's got students, you know what's surprising? We have, how many people we got? We have 478 people in chat right now, but I know for a fact there are teams that sit around and watch the show together. There are students that sit in a classroom and watch the show together. So shout out to all of you who are here. So our number is actually quite higher than 478. But let me just show you the cyber kill chain for a hot second. And if you know it, then you know it, and that's okay. Okay, so, and by the way, the cyber kill chain really should be cyclical, not a linear, but you know, whatever, I digress. Is this going to be all pixelated? Get the hell, oops, sorry. Hold on one second. I need a non-pixelated version. Bro. There we go. This is fine. Oh my God, bro. All right, so check this out. This is the cyber kill chain. Whenever we talk about any type of attack, right? I don't care if it's, you know, Lapsus gang and they're being very, very obnoxious and arrogant. I don't care if it's Lazarus Group and they're doing like ninja level moves to get through the Bangladesh Federal Bank or anything in between, right? Cryptocurrency, script kiddies, ransomware as a service. It doesn't matter, okay? Whatever they're doing, it's going to follow this kill chain, all right? So get that around your head. Oh, hold on. I'll do that in a second. Okay. So check it out. You get the reconnaissance. Who are you going to attack? What are you going to do? In this instance, the recon is emailing the people. Now, what makes it recon is they are trying to target people with huge followings. Okay. Which, by the way, is this last step, action on objective. In the 90s, right? In the 90s, the kill chain didn't exist in that you would just do recon and then weaponization and delivery, and you would just like fire stuff and see what broke. Go watch the 1995 Johnny Lee Miller, Angelina Jolie movie Hackers, and you'll see it's for the lulz. Like the action on objective was change the channel at the local TV show studio so you could watch what you wanted on TV. Like that's action on objective, but sometimes it was like your only crime is curiosity to break into a system and then figure out what you got doing. In 2025, we don't do that. Like threat actors have a target. They want to make money. They want to get access. They want to steal data, whatever it is. So you do the recon. In this instance, who has got a large following? Let's target, and this is a true one, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and several other prolific user accounts that have massive followings, okay? Once you get that, you send them a phishing email, the weaponization. The delivery sends the email. They click on the things, one-click exploitation, and boom, the exploitation's done. Now, installation is a persistence mechanism. Whether or not that happens in all the attacks remains to be seen. Typically, threat actors are going to want to install some type of persistence mechanism so they don't have to do the kill chain next time they want to exploit you. They just go right through their front door that they built on the side of your house, right? It's like a side door to your home, like a private VIP entrance for threat actors. Flaming Donkey loves it. C2 infrastructure, and you're off and running. Now, actions on objectives. The actions on objectives in this particular story is immediately executing a fraud campaign using the trust of the user account that's compromised in proliferating some type of crypto scam. And I'll give you a real example. I mentioned Bill Gates. Earlier, Bill Gates crypto scam. I think YouTube or Twitter. Let me see. Right, here we go. I mean, this is it right here. You may have heard of these people. Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos. Like five incredibly well-known people. These accounts were compromised. Not using the same technique, by the way, but they were compromised. And then they started posting, hey, if anyone sends 1 Bitcoin to this wallet, I will send 2 Bitcoins. Now, why not believe it? Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos have so much money that literally they could do the Scrooge McDuck swimming in a money vault, right? Bill Gates has so much money. Like he like, I don't know, like he drops $1,000 bill and like, you know, he loses money if he stops to pick it up, right? So it seems believable. And honestly, people, especially in the crypto space, want it to be real. They want to believe. And instead, people were just pushing money into a criminal's wallet. Also, another attack, a very similar, is crypto YouTube scam Elon. We see this one quite a bit as well. And I believe, what's his face? Linus Tech Tips. If you go look at Linus Tech Tips, I believe his channel got hit with this same one. Someone's account, like literally Simply Cyber, right? Instead of me going live at 8 a.m., all of a sudden it's Elon Musk live streaming from my channel saying, hey, I got this great deal, crypto. And these 4 people are talking about it. It looks real. It looks believable. And people want to get in because on the crypto space, it's all about being early, right? Ugh. So this is the attack. Now, it could be crypto fraud, which totally get, people want that straight cash, homie. Straight cash, homie. And sometimes it can be more nefarious. Imagine, if you will, that a high-ranking political official's account gets hacked and they say, oh, hey, I'm not supposed to say anything, but there's incoming intercontinental ballistic missiles right now. You could cause massive panic and public crisis, and you could cause almost like a borderline terror attack without actually having the kinetic attack happening itself. So there's a lot of actions on objectives here, but just be mindful, educate your end users. Again, this falls clearly in the category of too good to be true. And the final thing I'll say about crypto that really grosses me out, it sucks so bad. And if you didn't know this, let me introduce you to this. In the crypto space, it's actually considered like a rite of passage to get ripped off. I don't know who, obviously the people who are doing the ripping off have normalized that, but no, it shouldn't be a rite of passage to get rug pulled or whatever. All right, let's keep going.
Hundreds of thousands impacted in Globe Life breach. Globe Life is notifying 850,000 individuals after a data breach potentially exposed personal health and insurance information. The company disclosed that a threat actor attempted to extort them by threatening to release stolen data from databases maintained by independent agency owners, which included names, addresses, dates of birth, and social security numbers. Though Globe Life emphasized that no credit card or banking data was compromised.
All right. Good news and bad news. Good news is we're a couple minutes over. Actually, bad news. Excuse me. Bad news. If this story sounds familiar, it's because this is yesterday's news that we covered in episode 805 of the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief. And this is today's news. You'll notice it's the same exact story. So we're not going to cover it again. But the good news is we're a couple minutes over. So holla, let's get to that mid-roll action.
Thanks to today's episode sponsor, ThreatLocker. ThreatLocker is a global leader in zero trust endpoint security, offering cybersecurity controls to protect businesses from zero-day attacks and ransomware. ThreatLocker operates with a default deny approach to reduce the attack surface and mitigate potential cyber vulnerabilities. To learn more and start your free trial, visit threatlocker.com. That's ThreatLocker.
All right, let's do our ads. We're going to stack them again. We're going to stack and see what happens. And the good news is I do the Barricade one myself. So let's do Delete Me, and then we'll start the music, and I'll do the Barricade Cyber one. As a person that exists publicly, especially since I share my opinions and hot takes daily, I'm hyper aware of my safety and security, and it's even easier to find personal information about people online these days. All the data is just hanging out there on the internet, and it can have real life consequences. But I recently found a solution, and this service is called Delete Me. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases on the web, and in the process helps prevent ID theft, doxing, phishing scams, stuff like that. And when you sign up, you tell Delete Me what data you want deleted, and they go off and do it. The cool thing is you get a personalized privacy report every month that shows what they deleted, where they found it, etc. It's pretty cool. For me personally, it's like outsourcing your online privacy, which honestly, I don't have time to do that myself or do it well. So for them to handle it is awesome. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at the special discount for Simply Cyber listeners. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Coffee's so good. Oh yeah, baby. Guys, we are straight crushing it like a bunch of bosses today. The coffee's flowing. The music's good. The chat's dynamite. Alpha Sierra, our drum major, leading the charge. Phil Stafford, what's up with all these H's, dude? I'm curious. Maybe I missed something. Guys, I hope you're enjoying the show. As always, we're here consistently doing the work. Thank you to the stream sponsors, ThreatLocker, Delete Me, Antisyphon, and of course, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Guys, if you didn't know, Barricade Cyber Solutions is absolutely dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil, but Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Link in the description below. I also believe they're running around Wild West, Mile High, Wild West, Denver conference this week. So if you see them, say hello, high five them, let them know what's going on. Thank you very much to the stream sponsors and Barricade Cyber. Also, stay tuned. We may be having Eric Taylor doing jaw jacking at the end of the show today. He's actually scheduled to do it, but I haven't got confirmed. Okay, yes, he will be. All right, guys. Love it, love it, love it. Such a great day. Guys, every single day of the week has a special segment, and Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday, where I share a little bit about myself and see if we vibe. Now, I want to share a little personal story with you. Okay, so some of you know that I dabble with Magic the Gathering. It's a card game that's been around since the 90s. I was out, but it pulled me back in because of Jay Gold and Casually Joseph a few years ago. Jesse Johnson has slipped and fell head first into the pile of Magic again. So if you know about Magic the Gathering, you know what's up. I got to tell you, the other day, completely random sequence, Casually Joseph pings me. Now, Casually Joseph does live close enough to me to meet me in real life. And he said, hey, Jerry, you want to play a little Magic? Maybe grab a beer? And I'm like, all right, let's go. So we meet up, me and Casually Joseph, Gen Z's own representative. We order a couple beers. We sit down. We deal out these cards. And then Casually Joseph proceeds to publicly beat me. Like someone should have called the police because Joseph was murdering me in this game. Like at one point, Joseph actually tried to make a move that would be completely violating game theory. Like he was trying to basically dead fish himself and throw himself onto a fire. I'm like, no. You don't get to do that, Joseph. But guys, literally, if it looks like I'm walking funny, it's because I got my beat severely on Sunday. I'm telling you, I couldn't even sit down on Monday. I had to stand all day. So Casually Joseph straight smoked me. But that's what it is, guys. Simply Cyber community, all about good times. We work hard, we play hard, and it's not always all cyber, but it's all cyber a lot of times. So thank you, Casually Joseph. Let's get our la-la-la-las on. Code Brew says bend the knee. That's about right, Code Brew. All right, let's get back into it.
DeepSeek fake leads to malware. Under the guise of the controversial DeepSeek AI platform, malicious Python packages DeepSeek with 3 E's and DeepSeek AI were uploaded to Python Package Index, or PYPI, impersonating tools for the DeepSeek AI platform. But they were in fact info stealers that silently exfiltrated sensitive data from developers' systems. Positive Technologies discovered the campaign and reported that the payloads stole environment variables, including API keys and database credentials, and then sent the data to a CT server via pipe dream. Although PYPI quickly quarantined and removed the packages, 222 developers downloaded them, so anyone who used these packages should immediately rotate their credentials.
Yeah. All right. So two things. One, and no, this is no disrespect to Lauren Verno, but just to point out, she said PYPI. Everybody refers to this as PyPy. So you'll hear it called PyPy, and you probably should say PyPy when you're talking about it. So guys, honestly, like anything else, like yes, DeepSeek AI tools and big tech is banning DeepSeek on government devices helps curb this. But dude, it doesn't. It could be World Cup in Atlanta in 2026. It could be, OpenAI releasing Chat GPT. It could be anything. Literally, whatever is hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Whatever is hot right now, threat actors will make basically like malicious code that appears to be whatever's hot right now, and then put it into these public repositories and basically spurious hits. Like it's a casino wide net, and then see who you got. In this case, PyPy, it's like GitHub. People can just upload stuff to it. It's an info stealer, and people are getting all geeked up because they're like, ooh, DeepSeek AI tool. I'll just download this and add it to my automation. I'm going to create a blog that just auto-populates, and I make money, right? I print money, and I win.
Straight cash, homie.
So, and in reality, you're infecting yourself. If you're writing code, like basically if you're downloading code from PyPy, then you are likely going to have API keys. You're likely going to have sensitive stuff, right? Like my Aunt Dorothea isn't going to PyPy and downloading things, right? Or writing code. She's an end user, okay? No offense to my Aunt Dorothea. Okay, I love her, okay? my Aunt Carl. So, the fact that it's DeepSeek AI, in my opinion, do not get distracted by the shiny bauble that it's DeepSeek and oh my God, it's in the news in China and all this. It doesn't matter. It's just because it's blistering hot. It's trending on Google search. That's why they chose it, okay? All right. So TLDR, for yourself, if you're downloading codes and importing repos, be aware of them. Check out where they're coming from. Check out trust if you can, and reviews and stuff like that. It's hard, especially when you reach a tipping point where it's like, oh, 300,000 people downloaded this module. It must be okay. Because that doesn't necessarily, like, you can bot farm downloads and reviews. You can also just have like a tipping point of people who all fall for it. And honestly, I'll be the first to admit, like, I guess a little bonus Tidbits Tuesday. Like, I write Python from time to time, and I import modules and stuff. And like Beautiful Soup is a perfect example. Like Beautiful Soup is a web scraper Python library that everybody uses for web scraping. When I download Beautiful Soup, I'm not looking at the source code of Beautiful Soup to make sure it doesn't have a Luma info stealer buried in it. So it is hard to consistently look at that code, but just be mindful of it, right? This is an attack vector that threat actors are well aware of. And again, when we look at the cyber kill chain, they're not choosing like, ooh, like I'm gonna hit whatever. Like I see DJ BSEX, like, say threat actor, say Flaming Donkey is in the chat, right? Flaming Donkey's like, oh, I see DJ BSEC always writing Python codes for EPSS and other stuff. So I'm gonna get myself some DJ BSEC compromise. That doesn't work this way. When you do this, hold on. When you do this, you're just casting a net. This is like setting a trap in the woods and hoping a rabbit walks through, right? Versus, like, the difference between the two things is this is setting a trap and hoping a rabbit walks through versus a targeted attack where you basically put like a shotgun down a rabbit hole that you saw the rabbit run into and you blast, right? Like it's much different hits and victims that you grab. It's quite possible you get like a 12-year-old who's doing a home science project that gets this info stealer and you don't get anything because you got their Google Chromebook, right? So by the way, it's also a lot of work for the threat actor because they're going to cast this wide net, right? Think of it as almost like a fishing net. And then once they pull up the net, yeah, they've got some fish in there, but they also got like an old boot and a tire and some, tin cans and stuff like that. So they have to go through all of it and figure out, is there anything of value here? Okay.
Casio UK skimmer exploits payment flow. A threat actor infected the Casio UK website along with 16 other sites using a web skimmer that hijacked the payment flow to capture and exfiltrate visitor data. Now, in an unusual move, instead of targeting the checkout page directly, the skimmer intercepted clicks on the checkout button to display a fake payment form that gathered sensitive information like names, addresses, and credit card details before redirecting users back to the legitimate checkout page. The attack was enabled by a report-only content security policy on the affected sites, which allowed the malicious script to operate undetected.
All right. I mean, two things. One, this is a new to me, but like a new play on kind of a classic attack. Normally, threat actors will get access to a web server, okay? So they have to compromise it. Then they'll install JavaScript that basically also copies your credit card information as you put it in and then sends it to the threat actor. This is a credit card skimming attack. Your customer's credit card information will get compromised. You'll still be able to make the transaction. They can still buy yoga mats from you and you still get the money. So like the actual flow of the transaction still continues. But instead of the threat actor having to pop your environment and dump your database, they just get it in real time. Now, this particular attack's a little different because normally the JavaScript kind of runs seamlessly and invisible to the victim. But this one actually pops up a lookalike web page where they input the information. Honestly, it sounds like they're overcomplicating the attack for whatever reason. I don't know why. Because there's a cleaner, better way to do this attack. Again, not Threat Actor Academy. I'm just being real. So be mindful of that. Again, if you can keep a nice, hygienic, clean web server, limit the amount of who's got access, have logging on the server as far as updating code goes or logins. You might even be able to control down who has access to make code changes on the web server and then alert when that account's logged in. If you can make it that granular, that's definitely ways to go. Obviously, if you do get a credit card scammer on your website, you're going to have a lot of pissed off customers and you're going to have to send out breach letters. I don't know, honestly, PCI is the payment card industry data security standard, which outlines minimum requirements you need when you're taking credit cards. I would be curious if there's a PCI person in chat. How does PCI handle rogue JavaScript on the web server at the checkout page? I'd be curious because usually PCI is more around the infrastructure and the user access of the infrastructure and less about the checkout page. Again, I might be wrong, but let me know. Also, definitely worth noting, whether it's Casio UK or it's, I don't know, whatever. Like Magic, the Casually Joseph side hustle, Magic the Gathering webfront store. Credit card skimming attacks are on the rise. We're seeing more and more stories regularly. It went out of vogue in 2017 when ransomware turned into the big juggernaut that it was. I don't know. We must be doing something right as defenders because credit card skimming is back and it's hot again.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Canadian hacker charged in $65 million crypto heist.
Have a good one, Jesse
U.S.
Johnson.
prosecutors have charged a 22-year-old Canadian with hacking CyberSwap and Index Finance, stealing nearly $65 million by exploiting vulnerabilities and manipulating digital coin trades. Now, the hacker allegedly laundered the funds through multiple transactions, used fake identities to conceal his actions, and even attempted to extort CyberSwap administrators after the attack. Facing charges including wire fraud, extortion, and money laundering, he could receive decades in prison, with authorities still working to determine his whereabouts.
Damn. What an enterprising young man. He's 22 now, but these attacks happened in 2021 and 2023. That's 4 years ago. So he was 18, an adult, by the way. And he was straight hacking like a boss on this Canadian cyber platform, crypto platform called CyberSwap. This dude was criminal, right? I mean, he was exploiting vulnerabilities, taking over infrastructure, but then he went a next level where he was trying to extort the actual business CyberSwap themselves. Dude, U.S. federal prosecutors are on you. You're 22. I got news for you. I hope you got like a loose. You might want to invest in a chiropractor because you're going to be whipping your head around forever, looking over your shoulder. He did exfil what sounds like millions of dollars, so he was able to get him into USD or Canadian D, whatever they're doing. Hold on. So he actually did basically insider trading too. Essentially, he had so much money and control that he was able to like inflate the price of current like digital currency and then basically exit and then rug pull the victims who bought into it. This is how this is how cryptocurrency scams work, full stop. Okay. We talked about it earlier. Jay Gold, like whether it's the Hawk to a coin or it's Bored Apes, NFTs, dude, I'm telling you, a million times over. And I know Luke Canfield said he's been in on crypto since early 2010. The deal is, there might be legit out there, whatever, but the deal is a bunch of people get together. They agree that they're going to scam everyone. Some people are unaware that they are even part of a scam, like Hawk to a girl. And they basically go to market. A bunch of people already have the assets of the crypto, and then they release it and hype the crap out of it. Everybody buys in because everybody's trying to get in early. And once it peaks, the people who are in early sell off, and all these people lose their money. It's basically a transfer of wealth between all the victims and those people. It's just a little complicated. This dude right here, this dude was basically, instead of a bunch of people doing the crypto scam, it was him, and he had all access to all the money. So, yeah, this guy stole $16 million from the Index Finance, whatever that is, and then $48 million from CyberSwap. So if he is on the run, he's got a lot of money. But I'm telling you guys, in 2025, it's very hard to hide unless you go to a country that's not friends with the United States. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a good time. So we'll keep an eye out. At the end of the day, guys, yes, nation on nation action happens, but for the most part,
straight cash, homie.
It's all about straight cash, homie. All right, that's going to do it. Guys, I hope you had a great show. I certainly did. I want to thank all of you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Antisyphon, Threat Locker, Delete Me. I got to teach the Citadel today, but that doesn't mean that jawjacking won't happen. Excuse me. We are bringing you jawjacking Monday through Friday, every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Here's the deal. If you don't know, Jawjacking. It is a 30-minute AMA style program with senior industry professionals, frankly, who are bringing insights, answering all your questions, and helping you level up and blow up your career journey in a very positive way. It's completely aligned with Simply Cyber's core values of inclusion, support, and collaboration. I hope you can stay. If you got questions, I want you to drop them in chat with a Q up front. And if you have answers, feel free to share them with the community. We are one #TeamSC community. Actually, so Nick Barker says, what are you doing at the Citadel today? Today, Citadel is one of my favorite classes. Today's class is called, oh my God, it's techniques used by hackers. And I basically just got to go ham on all the hacker tools, right? Bad USB drives, cyber kill chain, info stealers, cryptojacking. Like, I get to go bananas and pretend to be Flaming Donkey today. So thanks for asking, Nick Barker. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber, guys. I hope you had a great show, and I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time for Worldwide Wednesday. Australia, 24-hour notice, Australia. We missed it last week. All right, guys, be well. I'll touch you. Let me go get Eric Taylor as we transition to jawjacking. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
Hi, how are you? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? As you know, my name is Eric Taylor. I'm the CISO, Chief Forensic Operator here at Barricade Cyber Solutions, and we are here to give you real-world technical advice from the trenches. Dr. Gerald Auger does the CISO 50,000-foot view because he likes to fly even higher than other people. So being all CISO-y and private jets and everything. If you're new here, please put a question :mark in the comments for any questions that you may have. So that way I can look at it and say, hey, there's a question for me. Nick Barger says, time to get ready for Wawa Hacking Fest. Love you, Eric. Thank you for your sponsorship. Absolutely, man. So those who don't know, we are the black sponsor for Wawa Hacking Fest for 2025 for both Denver and Deadwood. Casually, Joseph is already on site. JMod will be flying up today, and I will be flying up at an undisclosed time. But I will be there on site, running around, having meetings. So seriously, if you are wanting to partner with us in your IR retainers and talk to us, seriously, reach out. My schedule's kind of filling up a little bit with other businesses that are wanting to do that. So if it's something of interest to you, please reach out. And it'd probably be best to get to me on LinkedIn because I suck at Discord. Or you can just talk to Joseph or Justin and be like, hey, I really need a meeting with Eric. They both have access to my calendar, and they can literally put something in on my calendar, like, hey, meeting with Nick Barker at 3 p.m. type of thing, right? So what's up, Angular? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Oh, no, it's Eric and all the caffeine. Yeah, I've actually been calming down on my caffeine. Like, I'm under a pot a day now. It doesn't really help the ADHD at all, because the medicine I'm using was not really helping. We got someone pinning comments up here on me. DJ Bisek in the background. Thank you, good sir. All right, so question from Marina Albright. How does one-click exploration work? Like, what actually happens? You click something and something gets downloaded without your knowledge and lets people steal your cookies. Like, how's it work? Great question. All right, so one click literally is just that. I mean, I'm not trying to dumb it down, but it literally is like, okay, you get an SMS message, right? We like some of the ones that we're getting here recently is the pay. We'll use a real world one. The pay toll scams that are going out by text messages right now. Hey, you have an invoice due for Maryland or Florida or one of the states for that you haven't paid your toll, and it's literally got a whole bunch of stuff .top / I in the domain. Now, this particular one is not a zero click, but I'm using this as an example. So if it's yeah, yeah, we're seeing the taxes one too, DJ BSEC. So if you were to click on it, it would look like it goes to a web or go to a website and just be kind of blank, and it may even close out that web page. Like, that didn't work. So instead of it loading like a .html or .cvss or whatever file extension to display the page, it's actually like a Python script or something that's executed in the in the web page itself to manipulate things. So when you see stuff like an RCE for Chrome or a Chromium or Brave or Firefox or something like that, that's kind of what they're talking about. Like, it's almost another term, if I remember correctly, is drive-by click, where you literally just click on something, it launches something maliciously on your device, and then it's able to execute that code on your device. And it really is a spray and pray type of mentality. So you're sending a bunch of text messages to a bunch of people to potentially click on something to execute it. You don't know if it's a Android, you don't know if it's a Google. I'm sorry, Android and Google, same thing. But it could be a Google device, so it could be an RCE for a Google Pixel, is where I was trying to go with that. But it could be, Android is general, could be ISO for the iPhone, things of that nature. So there's a lot of technical stuff to it, but I'm really trying to simplify it down. But it's simply just a code that is executed instead of a web page like google.com to launch malicious code on your device. And that's kind of in a nutshell, the way that works, right? Next question. Would it be illegal? If you have to ask, yes. It 99.9% is illegal, but we'll finish reading it. To create a script in Python for taking old lottery numbers and finding new ones. No, I don't think so. I mean, honestly, you're not. I mean, you're running. That is literally the definition of statistics, right? Like, you're going to take metrics of whatever time frame. In this case, it's lottery numbers. Let's play it in a non potential theft world. Let's say hurricanes or earthquakes or name your natural disaster here. And this is really how insurance companies work. They look at, okay, you're in South Carolina, you're in Texas, you're in Florida, you're here, you're there. These are the natural disasters that are prone to your location. How often over the past 50 years has said event come through? What has been our max payout? What's been our minimum? What's been our averages? And they help build that as what they charge you for your premium for your insurance rates. That's literally how it's done. It's statistics. I'm probably saying that incorrectly. Statistics. But that's literally what you're doing, is just you're applying that same mentality to lottery numbers. Is it illegal? I don't think so. Because you're just doing statistic analysis and saying, hey, this is over the past 10, 15 years, these are the numbers that have come through. The likelihood of these next numbers coming up in the next 2, 5, 10, drawings are X percent, right? I mean, I don't know. But anyway, again, I don't think it's illegal, but consult your lawyer. But if you're having to ask, more than likely it is. Hey, where can I find your cybersecurity sea shanty? Where? So there is, hold on, let me pull it up. Let me pull her up. That's not a bad, but Bear with me 1 second. Where? I'm drawing a blank on her name. Rebecca, something or another, I believe. Rachel. Let me go over to LinkedIn. I probably should bring up Discord, because mods are probably screaming at me right now. It's this, you dumb man. Bear with me a second, folks, while I do this. Yeah, Rachel Tobach. Okay. So this is Rachel's full version of the song. And she has given us permission to use it as part of our sea shanty that we use in our closing. So if you want the full version, go there. Rachel Tobach, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. And you can be able to enjoy it forever and ever and ever and ever. There's a couple of one-offs of her doing it as well. So hopefully you enjoyed that. But that's where it wasn't a custom thing. She created it. And I asked very nicely, and she said, yeah, absolutely. You can use this part of your outros. I'm like, that's awesome. Thank you. So that was extremely nice of her to grant us that. Angular asks, should I stack certs while the economy is on a downturn? I don't know. You know, and I hate to say this. I don't know what businesses are going to be looking for in the next 2-5 years. Right? So there's just a lot of problems in the cybersecurity space altogether, right? You have the short-lived CISOs that are literally only doing like a 1 or 2 year plan. They're not looking at the effing 5-10 year plan for a business because they're not going to be around that long. They're only going to be around 6 months to a year to 2 years. So their time frames of what they're looking at to try to implement immediately are very, very short time frames. So I don't know what the next the quote unquote next wave of CISOs that are coming in, because the ones that are currently, and I'm not bashing every last one, but literally everyone that's coming in as a CISO to an organization is literally doing a damn rinse and repeat of everything they've done for the past 10 companies that may or may not have worked even successfully, because you know what? They didn't stick around long enough to see the results. So I don't know what businesses are going to be looking for. Are they going to be more cert people? Are they going to be more degree people? I don't know. Even me as the owner, I don't know what I'm going to be looking for in 3 to 5 years. It's not like I'm shutting down Barricade anytime soon, but yeah, I don't know what the industry is going to really demand. Like, what are my clients going to demand of us to have? And that's the other factor. Like, if you're running, a full MDR, managed detection and response platform like Arctic Wolf or something, and you're, leasing your solution to, let's say, the gov. What is the government going to be requiring? Are they going to be wanting more people as CMMC gets more ratified and put into actual production to be more degree oriented, or is still certification still an acceptable thing? I don't know. There's a lot of different balls in the air, so to speak, that we got to see where things drop in the next couple of years, to be honest with you. I would just say, look at the companies that you're trying to go work at. Are you trying to go work at a Microsoft, a LinkedIn, a Twitter, or whatever? Or are you trying to go to like a Red Canary, a Arctic Wolf, a CrowdStrike, or whatever type of industry you're looking for, manufacturing, healthcare, whatever? Go to LinkedIn and look, what are their current requirements for the job that you're trying to get into? I mean, take the whole, a minimum of 5 years of experience. I mean, are they looking for certifications? Are they looking for degrees? Are they looking for specializations in applications that are specific to the industry? And then make your best guess on an informed analysis of what they're currently asking for. It's literally the only thing I can tell you to do. And as much as I hate to say it, every business is going to be different. They're not going, Barricade is not going to ask for the same things that Kroll or Mandiant or Arctic Wolf or Arete or Pandora or any of the other digital forensic firms that are out there. We have a lot of overlap in what we ask for, but we're all different too in what we're asking for, right? Just like I'm not letting the cat out of the bag or anything, but let's just say hypothetically, somebody wanted to go do reverse malware analysis. You know what? Barricade, we get some malware, but we just don't have the threat intel, right? So maybe somebody wants to do malware analysis. A different company would be more suitable for them for that. And if you're watching, I'm pulling hard for you. Whew, glad we deleted those messages when he wasn't looking. Exactly, JMod. All right. I know that's not a direct answer, Angular, but it's honestly the only thing I could tell you. What should I focus on when trying to become a pen tester? Pen testing? Literally? I mean, go do bug bounties, man. Go do the trash out of bug bounties. Do the free ones, do the ones that are offering payments, all that, go to HackerOne, BugCrowd, all those. Go do them. It's literally like a try hack me in real world. Go do it, get your accolades, and go rock it out. I mean, those are, you're taking try hack me to real world experiences. Go look at, the HomSec is still active, right? It's been a while since I've been in that space. But if the HomSec is still active in the YouTubes, then definitely go check him out. He used to work at he used to work at HackerOne, if memory serves me correctly, but it's kind of doing his own consulting thing and primarily on YouTube. At least he was a while ago. And go watch what he does. Go watch what other pen testers are doing on YouTube. Get inspiration for those type of things. But literally, pad your resume with stuff that's disclosable. All right. Like just to go back to this, hold on. When I was a pen tester, I literally used this as part of my stick because nobody ever asked me like, hey, do you have a certified ethical hacker certificate? And, if so, can you prove it? Like they literally wanted this trash. Let's see, we'll do my window share. So that way you guys don't hear tons of goofy sounds. Let's switch this around. Boy, I tell you what. Local video. No. Shut up, Restream. Oh, is he pulling out videos on? Or are you still putting out videos? Okay. So Nahamsec is DJ BSEC just clarified Nahamsec is still putting out videos on YouTube. So definitely go look at that. But what I was going to show you, I think I've showed this on stream before. I believe this is it. Yeah, sure. It's a VM. I don't care. Accept all the cookies. But there's your boy right there. Hall of Fame on TeamViewer. Right? I did it for many, many years. Right? And I used these accreditations to say, look, if we're going after big, large organizations like TeamViewer, say what you want about TeamViewer, but I'm pulling. The proof is in the pudding, so to speak. So when you're putting that you're in a Hall of Fame of TeamViewer, you're in the Hall of Fame, or you've been able to disclose X, Y, and Z vulnerabilities for company XYZ, that's part of your resume, literally right there at the top. Like, that's what you're doing. So it was literally why hi Eric, and that was literally one of them. It's plus some other stuff that I had on HackerOne that was able to be disclosed. So I put that out there. So see you later, Jenny Housley. Is AI moving to be country-based and other countries ban the use of AI models in their governments? I don't know. There's one this is going to get political. Reason around DeepSeek AI and TikTok. I don't know if you're new to this industry, you're new to cybersecurity. There is a freaking reason why we do not like these platforms. It's because they're in China. Now, we're not going to talk all the geopolitical stuff about pandemics and all that stuff. We're not getting into that. What I am saying is, if you're unaware, anything that flows through China, there is a government mandate that everything is piped through the Chinese government, the CCP. So they get raw, unfiltered access. And they're like, but Eric, that's the three-letter agencies in the USA. To some degree, yes. But it's not a mandate that any and all data that flows through their network is property of the Chinese government. It doesn't matter what server it's on. Like, you could literally be starting up go back before M365 was a major thing, and all of us were building up Exchange servers for hosting for our clients, right? That used to be a thing, right? The customer didn't have the expenditure or the capital to invest in into an Exchange server ecosystem, so they would rent or lease space on cloud servers for that, and you're spinning up your own, right? Just because you spin up your own service does not mean NSA is looking at your server and has direct access ties to that server. But if you're in China, you are required. So they have access to anything that's being put on that server. And that's literally what it is, because when you look at cybersecurity as a whole, people are not learning the basics. At least once a month, people are saying companies are putting private information into AI platforms, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot. We're even seeing reports of it in DeepSeek AI. They're not sanitizing their information before they're uploading it for ingestion in AI. So if you already got meatheads not following basic cybersecurity, again, look at CISA for the past 10 years on Cybersecurity Month and every year. And it's literally the same freaking crap every daggum year. It's a freaking train wreck. So maybe it wouldn't be as big of an issue if people were taking cybersecurity more seriously and doing their own freaking sanitation versus just uploading a complete database. Hey, tell me blah, blah, blah about this. And it's all, one of the tables in there or one of the columns in the table is MD5 hashes of all the password logins. I mean, come on. I'm using facetious stuff, but you're starting to get the point. Like, if you're not going to sanitize your own information, then we got to stop people from being stupid. Take seatbelt laws. If you're going to put on a seatbelt, So that way you're safe. If, let's just say 95% of people did that, do you think there would really be a seatbelt law? No. It's because everybody was driving around without a damn seatbelt. So to enforce people to be safer, they mandated seatbelt laws. Don't like that analogy? Use speed limits. We're not freaking on the Autobahn. I know this is a global podcast, but I bet you 99% of us do not live near the Autobahn where you can drive 200 freaking miles down a road. I would say probably 90% of us are in the US. And driving up and down 95, which is, for those who are not in the US, is an interstate that goes from Florida all the way up to Maine, I believe. Like, it's up and down the entire East Coast. You're not driving 200 miles an hour down there. Would it be nice to hurry up and get there? Yes, but it's a law of a speed that you're not allowed to exceed. You always hear story. This is going to go so long. Holy McMoly. Look at your crazy state laws. You're now to have happy time with animals. Why? Because some jackwagon was having happy time with animals. They make laws for a reason. Most of the time it's stupid, but sometimes it makes legitimate sense, right? So, a long story short is, will it become more inside the US maybe? And just asking people like, look, freaking stop doing stupid stuff with technology. I dare Kimberly can fix it and make that as a short. Checking mod chat. Nothing over there. I think mod has left the building. They're like, great, here we go. Please help me explain, API keys to a middle class or middle school class. That's a good one. Yeah, I think API, to explain it to a middle school class, would simply look like this. Like, how you go to Facebook and you log in and you see your entire My Story feed, or is that, take social media platform of choice, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Then you're seeing your entire feed. An API is a command line version to be able to authenticate and pull that feed down in a text format. It's quicker, it's more responsive because it doesn't have images and all this other stuff to process. It's a faster way of digesting information for production purposes. Like, say, hypothetically, you want to go in to your social media platform of choice and be like, hey, how many times did Bob the Builder talk about a shed? You can build out an API. You can get an API, build out a query. Hey, look at my LinkedIn feeds or my Twitter feeds or whatever. Search for username Bob the Builder with text shed. Give me link. Right? So you're able to ingest 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 in minutes, potentially even seconds, depending on how fast the API is, to be able to generate those results instead of you just typing something in. Go to Bob the Builder's page, type in sheds for like YouTube, like if you're doing YouTube, and waiting for that server to calculate it. It's a more raw format for quicker results versus a GUI to be able to parse it, generate it, submit it back to you, things of that nature. Hopefully that helps. Pro tip: if US brings back manufacturing, they're going to need ICS cyber professionals. Yeah. They need them now. I mean, if I can tell you, when I first started getting into DFIR, I don't know why, just the luck of the draw, maybe. I don't know. But I would tell you, most of our clients were manufacturing, like 8 to 2 were manufacturing. So it's not an if, they already need them, my man. They already need them. All right, DJ Basic just said, yeah, I mean, Sean says, API key is API key as a secret handshake. It is. I mean, it's no different than using your username and password, but it's just in a command line version. I was trying to give the user an application or a applicable format to actually use that while trying to do some education without literally getting too granular and like lose the kids as well. Just going through the questions here. Here's a good one. What's a good process to verify the sterility, whatever, of a backup in case of a ransomware attack? This is a good one. You're going to do what's called a fire drill. Literally. Some people call it tabletop, but in this situation, I call it fire drills. You're going to do two things if it's applicable to your organization. You're going to say, okay, server ABC is down. We need to restore it. This Saturday is when we're going to do a mock restoration. Okay. You're going to have a spare server. They're going to restore that server from local backup to the local server. Spin it up. Make sure it's in its own VLAN or whatever. Make sure it's isolated to test and make sure that the restoration works. Right? Go through this full process, and you're going to document that. Like, okay, for server ABC, it took 4 hours to restore that server up to a point where we can restore it. It took us another 2 hours for verifications before we could put it back online or potentially put it back online for testing. So your time to restoration is 6 hours. CEO, C-suite, is that an acceptable time frame? No. We need to look at faster backups. Okay. So now you start looking at faster producing backups. You're going to do this for the cloud. Let's just say you're hit with that ransomware. They've taken out your servers. They've taken out your local NAS. You only have backups to restore from. That restoration time is going to be slower. In this particular situation, you're going to see, okay, how long does it take to download that data set, then restore the data set, and then spin it up for testing and go through that testing process. Okay, that is plan B. All right, that's going to take 12 hours for that same server to download it, make the backup server, restore that server, spin it up, do its testing and verification. That was a 12-hour process. All right, plan C is like, all right, let's see what is the restoration time if that's an option with your backup solution to spin it up in place or to another cloud environment, right? So let's just say hypothetically you're using Veeam and you're backing up to AWS or Azure. You could spin up VMs there. Veeam gives you the option to restore in the cloud. It's like, okay, great. How long does that take? Because not all data sets in the cloud are the same, right? Glacier is going to run faster than Wasabi. right? So what is that restoration time to get it out of either hot or cold storage? What is that time to get over to that VM? What is it? How long does it take to spin up, do its testing? Does it need to be VPN back into your local environment for the functionality to work? What does that timeline look like? Right? So that's all the things you need to do, like plan out. And then you're going to sit with these numbers in front of the business and be like, okay, this is just one effing server. These are the time metrics that we had for this server. And you're going to do that now for all of those servers inside of your environment and any workstation acting as a server. Because let's just be honest, every business has them. And that is going to be you're going to have a restoration time. And then you're going to be like, business owner, C-suite, whatever, you're paying $300 for this backup solution. But if we get hit with something, like let's just say hypothetically, it's just your server cluster died, right? And now it's like, okay, this requires new hardware or replacement hardware. We're going to need to enact Plan C, restore from the cloud into a cloud instance until we get new hardware in and bring productivity back up again. So you already have that timeline to build that out, right? So hopefully I answered your question. I see people just completely laughing in mod chat. Not sure why. Maybe it's just me being a tool. Explain getting syslogs to syslog server, then to another service to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Kyle, that's a much deeper conversation than this podcast has time for. It really is, unfortunately. And if you don't have a service provider helping you through that, you need to get a different service provider or consult with a service provider to help you do that. But that's more than just a 30-second, 1 minute rant. But I mean, basically you're standing up a server or a log collector somewhere in your environment. You're pointing all your workstations and servers to it to collect it. You're going to have to tag it, and then you're going to ship it off to a third party. Like everybody's taking their FedEx packages to the hub, and then the hub ships it off to the distribution center. I mean, it's kind of like a 5-year-old. I'm not trying to be rude, but that really is an in-depth conversation. I don't have a question, but going to attempt to find a nonprofit where I live. I was told they pay good. Going to try that. Good luck, Carrie. Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, it really is an in-depth conversation, bud. I don't know what this is. Oh, smart. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't show up properly in Restream. Bear me a second, ladies. Oh, let's put on some music. Where's the music? Denver. 232 people. If y'all are enjoying this, please share this content with people, please. Like Dr. Gerald Auger says, we're not really here for the vanity and the metrics or stuff like that. We're just really trying to reach people. And that's kind of why I do job jacking on Tuesdays and DJ BSEC does it on Thursday for two reasons. One, a different perspective. So you're not hearing the same vertical from the same person all the time. So you get a little bit of different flavor from myself, a little bit different flavor from DJ BSEC, and things of that nature. So, it does change it up a little bit for everybody. So, Kaka, I assume you're not going? Come on. Angular's heading off to work. Take care of yourself. Question, if you have time, your IT journey, thanks. Okay. All right, so here we go. Yeah, I mean, I've already said it in so many different other formats. So here we go. As a kid, born and raised, sorry, Fresh Prince just kicked in my head for some reason. Welcome to ADHD land. All right, so kid got first introduced to Atari 800 LX. Literally coded in BASIC for like 8 hours just to see a turtle draw a square or a star. I was hooked. Had a home computer, learned how to hack on that thing pretty much by breaking everything on it. Back in the days when you had floppy disks, the I think it was 3.5. The bigger ones were the 5.25 or something like that. But anyway, the OS to load it, it was like 13 freaking disks. So at least once a month, my stepdad would have to reload it because I broke the computer by playing with it. Like, what does this do? Oh. Fast forward to high school, got in trouble for hacking. Was able to get out of that charge because the high school I was at claimed to have one of the most secure networks around. And when I was hacking, I did it in their environment. So they were able to pin it back to the high school that I was at and hold them. It's like, look, you said you had this. He broke through your defenses pretty quickly and was able to hire 3-letter agencies. Right? I mean, I did the NASA thing and all that stuff, and I did a lot of giving myself pay raises and just all that trash when I worked at Papa John's and Pizza Hut and just all that garbage. And it was just easy for me. So, they got scared. It was like, all right, we don't want you any for like the next 3 years. They did not want me in a classroom with a computer hooked up to the network. Now, remember, back in the day, that during this time, it was token ring network, RG59, BNC connectors everywhere. It was literally a token ring network. You could literally have just unplugged the connector out of the back of it and been good. But no, they didn't even want me so like days that you would be doing research at the library and stuff like that, I was not allowed at school that day. There was a career school later on. This is going to get long. But there was a career school later that said, hey, we really want him to come to our school. And, there's a cyber division that they're trying to figure out and all this other stuff. And, and they want me to compete to it. And my parents were like, you realize what he just did at this school and how scared the school is of him. And they're like, yeah, no, we really want him, right? So they signed all the waivers and I went to another town like 2 or 3 times a week and sat there bored off of my butt, but helping them build out a program. and going off to state and national championships for cybersecurity, or back then it was just pure hacking. But it was just hacking was always my default when I got bored, and it still is today, right? So I always go back to it to some degree. Fast forward a little bit, job hopping, signed up for the Marine Corps, went to counter-military intelligence for primarily HUMINT, which is human intelligence. Did a lot of, it was really before cybersecurity really became a great deal with the Marine Corps. So it was with ONI, Office of Naval Intelligence, where we did a lot of the geographical landscapes and a lot of the human intelligence, HUMINT, tracking people and stuff like that. And then reported up to the chain where the really cool people were able to do a lot of really cool things. Like, I want to do that, but I didn't stick in long enough to really get that high. So it's looking back, I wish I kind of did, but kind of didn't. But anyway, I digress. Got out, went off to a company called Black Box. Is Black Box still even around? Let's see. I'm sure it is. Yep, blackbox.com. So went off there, cut my teeth in Cisco, became Cisco call manager, systems engineer. Cisco, then went to Cisco networking and routers and things of that nature. They're just massive Cisco shop because we were supporting, I'm not sure if they are now, they may still be, but supporting companies like Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, just all the big box stores, right? So a lot of times I'd have to go out and rerun cables and do a lot of fiber optic stuff, things of that nature. So really cut my teeth on a lot of that stuff, and then I learned that I can become an independent contractor for Black Box and make more money than I was freaking working full time. I'm like, bump this, I'm gonna go become a contractor. That kind of led to one thing to another. Started up my business. The first business name was Geek on Site. I was just a little dude just running around from house to house and business to business doing kind of ad hoc IT stuff, really wanting to get back into cybersecurity. What the fudge? Oh, it looks like Bashy just posted a massive technology company. Oh, that's not good. I'll have to look into that in a minute. Where was I? Oh yeah. So I really wanted to get back into cybersecurity, but I didn't know if I could trust myself, right? Like, even to this day, I was like, at this time, when was this? Probably 2008 or so. Yeah, because I was definitely married. Yeah, I would say about the 2008 period. I really wanted to get back into cyber, but I really wasn't sure what I was trying to do, or if I could really trust myself. Because, those who've been around for a while, have the whole issues with Hunter coming up. Starting to have a family, married. I didn't know if I could skirt that line and not get in trouble and impact the family that I was wanting to have. So it took a couple years, and I started doing a lot of hacking right before, pen testing and stuff like that for a lot of businesses on like HackerOne and things like that nature right before the COVID pandemic hit, things of that nature. And I was like, all right, I've been doing this for about a year and a half. I came close a couple of times to going too far, but I was able to pull myself back, things of that nature. And I was like, all right, I think I can be able to do this more full time and realize, be an adult, right, type of thing, and kind of go through that whole process. That's right when, again, right before the pandemic, and digital forensics was really becoming really mainstream in my circle, and had a couple of companies like, hey, you've been doing this pen testing stuff for a little while now. Have you ever thought about digital forensics? So I'm like, no, not really. So, started diving into that right before the pandemic hit. And I was like, I love this. Like, this is literally the thing that I love doing. I love hunting evil, right? So, went into digital forensics and been doing that ever since. So, long story. Hope you enjoyed the TED Talk. Hopefully that was beneficial to you. Yabis, that's a good explanation about backups. Do you have any best practices for verifying your backup isn't affected as well? So, yes, when you're going through the restoration process, you're going to look for your digital forensics or your SOC team or whoever that's helping you through this investigation should be telling you, your IOCs, indicators of compromise, where potential payloads are located at inside of your environment, what potential malicious tools that are installed. So when you're building that up, and like I mentioned in the example before, you're doing this in your own separate VLAN, isolated air gap, whatever terminology you want to do, you're going to be looking for those IOCs inside of that backup. Like, do you have encrypted files? Do you have any desk installed? It's like, oh, well, you need to potentially go back a little bit further. Are the payloads located in the user's public folder or whatever the IOC is for your particular situation? And that will help you determine if that box is pre-breach, post-breach, and partially encrypted, things of that nature. So, you're just going to be leveraging what information and intel that you're having as part of that engagement to be able to go through that. And a good forensics firm should be providing that to you, like, as things are popping off, like almost a daily situation, even to say no new IOCs discovered today or whatever the case is, right? I assume a lot of them are doing it. It's what we do. But we're nothing special, right? So. With the congestion of cybersecurity, is it still worth getting into? Taiwan Gong, I'm going to say, go look at the video that cut about maybe 2 months ago now, but Jerry had John Strand, and I forget the other dude. He literally had wearing a unicorn thing on his head the entire time, but John Strand was getting ready to get on a flight. But he said it very well, and I do resonate with this mindset that he's got. Like, business owners are looking for, as much as I hate to say it, the snowflake. They're looking for that diamond in the rough. They're looking for that unique person to fill the role, right? And it's just going to be harder and harder to stand out. I don't know how that translates to you and your talents and your abilities to do whatever you're wanting to do, right? Only you can answer it. But I'm just telling you, for at least another couple years, unless you have that little something special, it's going to be hard to get into cybersecurity. Outside of, transitioning from like an IT help desk to a SOC analyst and going, up the ladder, so to speak. But, pivoting to a new organization, trying to break into it is going to be hard. Wow, 229 still, y'all. Mod chat, either Discord is broke or mod chat I've just shamed them to no end. And they just kind of, Justin Gold just posted it. Thank you, Justin Gold. Let me Copy this. Nope, that did not translate well. I cannot delete that. Crap. All right, but Justin Gold did that. Posted it. Haircut Fish, thank you so much for sending that over in Signal. But yeah, I'll definitely look at that. I mean, that's going to give you a lot of insights. And you know, especially from somebody like John Strand that we all know, we look up to, even myself. You know, he's did SANS instructing. He's hiring a ton of SANS instructors, things of that nature. He's doing a lot of hiring right now and has been over the years. So that talk of what he's that rant that he kind of goes on, right, that really resonates. And I'm like, yeah, he's exactly right. So graduating cybersecurity in 2028. What do you think the industry will be by then? No clue. Like, if you're just joining us, I just went on a complete rant about CISOs only being in organizations for 2 years, doing rinse and repeat of the same freaking crap that they've been doing for the past 20 jobs that they had. CISOs don't even stick around long enough to see the results of their labor or what works and what doesn't work. So there's literally rinsing and repeating the same crap all the time. So I don't know what literally 3 years from now, when the CISO that's in an organization is not going to be there, they're going to be at some other company doing the same crap. And I'll tell you, I see more CISOs leave organizations in more of a mess from failed implementations than I see successful ones. I miss Jerry. Sometimes I can even hear his chat posts. But stick around, less than 24 hours and Jerry will be back. Sorry, I'm not good for you. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I can share my screen again and just let you hear all the emails and stuff coming in and Teams calls, and that way you can feel triggered. Would that make you feel better, sir? Just asking. I don't know why it triggers everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the top of the hour. We are seeing the viewers drop off. I do greatly appreciate everybody tuning in, hanging out, having a good time, asking your questions. Please, again, not vanity, but please share this out to people who you think would be a benefit to. Help advance the cause, help advance the knowledge and the training that's being offered here by answering questions and other hard-hitting cybersecurity news. But anyway, y'all take care. We'll see y'all next week. If y'all are at High Mile in Denver, please come by and say hi. If not, I will see y'all next week. Take care.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same, a criminal, then found their fame by taking that data to go. Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.